All right, welcome to my channel. My name is Lisa. I'm very excited to see that you're here today, and I'm very excited to do this video. I had planned to do a video playing with my distress texture paste, and I still am going to do that. But as I was getting stuff ready, I saw a little handy little dandy driver walking toward my door, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. So I'm going to show you what I got. It is a tiny, tiny Temu haul. I know not everyone's fans of Temu, but I saw this and I'm like, I gotta get it. So I ordered it, and you'll see it last. But to get free shipping, I had to spend $20. So the item I bought, and of course, I'm so excited I started this video, forgot to check. I will put it up how much it was on the screen, but it wasn't that expensive, so I was like very excited to get it, but free shipping, of course. So I had to order a few more things, and that's kind of where they get you, but I thought 20 bucks, not unreasonable. So I got 3 things in total. So I'm going to show you the first thing. And the first thing I got was this stencil, and I'm going to take it out of the packaging. And actually, it's probably a pretty good coincidence that it showed up today too, because this would be fun to stencil in with the texture paste. So it is just random numbers, and it's big. As you can see, it's fairly big actually. It's 5 inches. Now, of course, the numbers don't go to the border, but the plastic is 5 by 8, so it's pretty big. This is a 4.5 by 6.5, so I can get numbers on the whole thing if I wanted to. But yeah, so that's the first thing, and I will put a price on the screen of how much this was. Okay, second thing I got, and again, I don't know the prices, is this, which is called Retro Tickets Basic Suit, and yeah. I don't remember. It came in this little plastic carrying too, which I thought was pretty good. And if you've seen my channel before, you know I love tickets. So I was very excited to see this. And I have not opened it yet. I don't think they're all the same. I'm hoping they're not all the same. There we go. Oh, they are not all the same. Holy cow. Oh, and they're like really papery too. They're not stickers, are they? No, but they're very papery, very matte finish, very fun, pre-hold, smell a little, but not bad. Coupon tickets. Oh my gosh, these are so cool. I mean, they're a little bit brighter colors, and I'm sure there is, knowing Temu, there's probably spelling errors, but I like this. Mail your Christmas parcels early. From 1945, supposedly. 1944. Just big numbers, and I'm not going to go through all these. These could take forever. Holy cow. $5 bus ticket. Weekly passes. And then get past here. It looks like there's some just basic. Oh, these are keep this coupons, keep this ticket. These look very familiar to ones that I have for stickers, washi tapes. I can't even handle them all. Oh, those were so fun. Okay, I'm gonna have to find, oh, I guess I have that. I'm like, I have to find another package for these, but I don't, because they sent me one. How exciting. How very exciting. So I'm gonna put these in here. Just put those in there. All right, so these are very similar, all papery. Definitely a lot more grungy looking. Similar in nature to the ones that are bigger ones, but all single. Definitely more grungy looking. I love it. All right, these are probably about the same, just a tiny bit smaller than this. I'm not even sure if it said how many there are, but I mean, there's got to be several hundred tickets here. Oh, these are so cool. $1 weekly pass to see baseball. National Library Week, read a book. Nederland, which is Dutch, Amsterdam. Very cool. Oh, look at this one. It's got like cutouts that they clipped with their little kind of machines. Pharmacy labels. a progressive diner. Get a prefix course, 4-course meal. Oh, those are so cool. Well, I'm so glad that I kind of got forced to spend $20 because I had to keep looking for stuff. All right, so one last package here, and then I'm going to show you the thing I really ordered, which I'm very excited for. And these are all white. So I don't know if they're the same kind of tickets as that, but just not colored. Led Zeppelin, and this is very similar to a washi tape that I have, but just printed on paper and not, that looks like the Temu Haul stamp, doesn't it? Look at that, today's task, that's cute. Little label there. Yeah, these are very cool. Oh, I wonder, I probably could, I'm so excited, I could probably, oh, these are upside down, but they're blank. I probably could, which they are, some of these are kind of blank. Oh, these are blank. Oh my gosh, look at those. Use my either alcohol ink markers or my watercolor, the watercolor pencils to color them, paint them. Oh, these are so cool. Oh, so, okay. These are beyond. I'll leave a link below to the, if you know you're interested, Temu, where these came from, or you know what the link was. But those are very cool. But I'm even more excited about the next item. So here is the next item. It is a stamp punch. I have been looking for, I used to have, in my scrapbooking days, I used to have all those fancy little scissors, and I know one of them was a stamp scissor, and I loaned them to a niece, and all this, she was doing scrapbooking years ago, and she does not have them anymore, supposedly. Okay, so let's get something to cut. Now, of course, there is instructions that are probably in Chinese in the back. But from what I can tell, there is, right in the middle here, there is a stamp spot that you can put stuff in and stamp. Oh my gosh, so exciting. And that's called 1 and 1. And then there's little ridges here, I don't know if you could tell, right between 2 and 3. And they, what it looks like that if you wanted to keep going, all you need to do is line up the little ridges in there. And as long as you're in the one space, which is there, you can keep stamping. Holy cow, this is so cool. This is so cool. So you can pretty much stamp whatever you want on there. I love it. Now the other thing that I saw is you could, and I'm gonna get a thinner piece of paper. I saw that you can stamp in there, and then when you open it up, it's very similar to those tear-off tickets, and you can make perforated ones by folding it and making that. How cool is that? Oh my gosh, this is so cool. I was so excited when I saw this pop up. It popped up on my Facebook page. And look at that. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. All right, so we can stamp. I'm going to stamp the end in the beginning and then push it down there. This is so cool. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Oop, missed the middle part here. All right, so all I got to do since I missed the middle part is make sure that the little notch is in there, and now I've got that. And I can go back on this side. look at that. How cool is that? Make your own stamps. I'm so excited. Does it have a, oh, it's got a little container. Those pieces are so itty bitty. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, I'm gobsmacked. That's for sure. So I need to yeah, you see it basically. Probably the hardest part is making sure when you keep going that you do, it gets a little crooked there because it gets stuck on the ridge. But you just can keep going. And of course I didn't push that one far enough. Oh, I got out of line somehow. Probably be better if it was facing me. Can I see better? Probably not. Actually, it's probably better that way. Oops. And yeah, see, I double clicked it there because I was trying to go too fast. Okay, I can do this all day. All right, so I'm going to pause the video, and like I said, my whole plan was to use not this. This will have to be a separate video. Figure out some project to do with this, but I'm going to play with my texture paste. So if you want to see this, stay tuned. If not, I'm glad you stopped by to see what I got for these items, and yeah, too much fun. All right, I just wanted to show you one thing else. I kept stamping with this to get all four sides, and I ended up folding this in half, and it's a thicker cardboard, and I was able to cut there to make a separate line there to be able to do an additional stamping there. So it actually cut some pretty thick stuff. I was quite impressed. Okay, so on to the texture paste. I played with it beforehand just to see how it would go, and you know, don't be a complete newbie doing this, but of course I am, first time doing it. But some of my finds and some of my things, so are these beautiful? Probably not, but I've definitely learned some stuff as I go. So this was just a plain piece of cardstock, very similar to that stamped one that I just did, or whatever you want to call it, cut it out. And I add some texture paste to it, and then I did some spray, distress like inks for it, etc. So did that. This was a pre-made long time ago, where I had used some distress sprays and some stamping just to make some generic background cards to be able to use as journal cards at some point. And I put the plain white on here, and it ended up bleaching the color through. So I did not put this yellowish kind of tint on her. It was white to start, but it absorbed, since it was probably oxide inks that were on here from like the sprays and stuff, and it just leached all the color through. I did spray a little bit on top afterwards, but very grungy, dirty for that. So I decided to do another one. This was an old one, but I decided to take some more of my distress spray to see if that was happened. And this was white, but again, it leaked all the color through, so I thought that was kind of fun. So instead of doing white on one, which appears I have none that are white anymore. I don't know where they went to. This one I decided, well, let's start with a paper item, and this is one of my master boards that I had together. And let's see if I can color it, because I had heard that you can use these distress pencils to color the ink, and sure enough, it worked. I was able to color it blue to match the blue, and then this has some yellow on it, and that's from a distress spray that I inked on it. But I was able to dye it a beautiful color to make my own little distressed texture paste. So I thought that was fun, but let me show you how I ended up doing it. Oh, and then I forgot I did, this was some of the ink from a colored pencil that I did a smooshing technique. I was watching Temu Haul's September YouTube video, and they were smooshing with blocks. So I was doing some smooshing, and I decided to put the texture paste on there, and I thought maybe it would leach through. It didn't leach through color-wise as much on this. It sort of did a little bit, but I thought it would do a little bit more color-wise, but it didn't. So I did the texture paste on that. So I think if I want colored texture paste, it's better to pre-color it than have it try to leach up through it. So what I have is I'm going to just play with it and show you what I learned. And I think I might use, of course, my new stencil because of fun. And I've got a spatula that seems to be working pretty good. And I'm just going to put a little bit down in here for this. It's really quite easy to use. I found my best bet, and that's way too much, is I take less than I think I need because this stuff goes really far. I put it on the back because it worked better for me than trying. You can't put it on the front. Maybe a little too little than I thought. And I'm sure holding it down would probably, with some tape, would be an okay idea too. But I, of course, you know, didn't do that. Okay, there we go. But just like violently spreading, there we go, the cake. Now this is a little bit more, when I was doing the, like these things, it could be a little less in the holes because you didn't know what it is. But if I only put a little bit in this number 5, no one's going to know that it was a 5 per se. Which, is that the right or wrong thing? I don't know. But all I did was scrape some off, and if I had a little left over, I put it more back down in the hole until it was pretty much gone. Now, I probably don't even have to scrape it as much as I am. Leave it at more texture, but I wanted it to be a little bit more flat and a little bit more, I don't know what you want to call it, thinner so it would dry out. Okay, so pull that up, and there we go. Just some fun. And then when this dries, we could add a little bit of distress to it or texture or something like that to it. I'm just gonna clean this off a little bit. I do have a little pail of water over here that I can dip it in, but I want to reuse this one again for that. So that was simple. So let me show you what I was talking about to get a colored one, and maybe I'll do it on here. So what I did was took a color that maybe I wanted to make the texture paint. So I think maybe a fun orange would be cool. So let's do ripe persimmon. And I do have a little bit of water over here. And I do have my water brush. So what I did was dip the, I have the water cup. You can dip the end in there and try to get some water on my brush. There we go. Dip the brush and just probably more than I need here. Roll the thing in there. Okay, probably more than I need. And then I took my scooper and I put a little bit to the side, not necessarily in there. And then we're going to add some color to it. I didn't want to put the ink in there, or this in there. I didn't want it necessarily to be too dark or too light. I wanted to control how much ink went in there. And probably could have put a darker red, but you know what, that's what you call figuring it out. So we're just gonna squish and make a beautiful thing. Okay, now I think I'm gonna use this kind of I don't know what you want to call it, blobs, amoebas. And now we got fun. And I bet I could put a little bit on here because this is sort of the same color. Nope, I'm off the paper. Oh well. So we got a little bit of color on there, a little bit of white, and we're good to go. Now I do have a lot of this left, and what I did notice was, and I'm going to use a piece of white paper here to show you what I did with that. You can use this to ink your edges, and so I could do this one if I wanted to, but all I did, it's just easier to see on this, is just take this to the side, and you can ink your edges. You just got to be careful that you keep your fingers in the center, because I was doing this on this one and you can tell my fingers kind of got a little crazy. This is turning out darker than it would because I had a dark one on that side because I was playing with it, but you can use that. So if you wanted to with this, and it's getting a little bit of bit, just so I can do it a little bit more. Since you put that color on, and it's not going to be hugely colored, especially on a print, but if you wanted to ink with something other than just doing like a normal try not to grab the wet part, the texture part. This is probably the hardest part. Try not to grab the texture part. I'm almost off the block. But you can sort of see that you can just use up the rest of that ink to ink around the edges of that and clean it off. So like a double purpose. And the one that I had, that I tested out, was because I had my scorched timber, and I know a lot of people use that for a regular ink edging, but instead of buying a whole piece of scorched timber, I decided to do a little bit of color on there, and I was able to ink the edge of these with scorched timber. Now this had, like I said, this had scorched timber on this side as an inking, and I just did it on the white just to be able to see how it looked. But yeah, so now this has the peach on the side, so kind of like a dual duty. I'm gonna put this in the water. Make sure it doesn't dry out for that, but whoops. Very cool. I'm gonna see, I do have a hair dryer. I'm gonna see if I can dry this, and maybe we can try to ink this up. I'm gonna close this just to make sure it doesn't dry too much. So I'm gonna go see if I can dry this. Okay, it seems like my hair dryer actually worked pretty good on that. So I'm gonna use the watercolor pencil to see if I can throw a little bit of color on there. If not, I do have my sprays, but I'm gonna do the same thing where I just take a little bit of color off of there and See how that goes. Not a great color. Just put a little bit of color on the sides here. Yeah, not a great color. Oh well, that's why you can play. Clean that off. And let's dry it for a second. Actually, it's not too bad when it dried. It definitely looks a little less muddy now. Just add a little bit of green to that. So I'm okay with that. Got a little bit of glue coming up here. So let's throw a little bit of glue on there. Guessing that was one of those. I've noticed a lot more of those motorized bicycles around the neighborhood. And kids ignoring all the rules of the road. Tell you, it's not going to take long for a couple of them get hit. Okay. Yeah, not too bad. Definitely kind of fun to play with. All right, so the other thing that I was thinking of was playing with adding some of these to, oops, upside down. This is the strips freebie that's in my Ko-fi account. Now I haven't cut it down, but I was thinking about putting some of these, putting some stuff on there, letting it dry, and then cutting it out afterwards. And yeah, I thought that could be fun. So should I do colored or should I do some white? I think I'm going to do a little bit of white over here, and then maybe do some darker color over there. Like, I lost my little spatula thing, but I had put it in the water. All right, so we're going to throw some stuff on here. Try not to go over the template. Yeah, cute. All right, so I think I'm going to put a little bit up here also. And again, what's nice about this is, since I'm not doing the cutting the strips yet, when I go to cut them off, if it's in between, it'll be fine. Whoops, you're a little too off though. We're gonna take you off. Yeah, like I said, I might be scraping too much, a little overkill, but I do not mind it being too thin. Okay, so let's take a little bit of color, and we will I'm thinking a nice a nice bright red will be fun over there. Let's try a little festive berries. And I just put my hand in there. Okay. There we go. So let us see. Now I'm never going to want to, like I did before where I took this and I scraped it in here, I'm not going to want to do that once I get some color in there. I'm just going to mix it all. I think there's a nice bright color. I like it. Now, as I'm doing this, and I kind of like realize, since I'm putting it in white and it's not clear, that it's definitely adding whatever color I use, making it lighter. And I probably should have known that, you know, but all right. Okay, we're going to put it on both of these here. Whoops. Just trying to fill in, like I said, if I saw some sort of number that I wanted to make sure it would look like a number and not part of a number, making sure some stuff got in there. Like this number 6. It's pretty big, so I think one thing that I think that the stencils would work better with things that are smaller. Than things that are bigger. All right, so that I'm going to have to rinse off because I don't want to put that back in there. But let's see how that looks. That's very cool. I like it. All right, so let's just add a little bit more down here. I think I got room to put this in here. I think I'm going to take a second to try to dry this though. Okay, I think it's pretty dry. That I can get rid of the red here. That hair dryer I actually found working pretty good. Like I said, I probably should see if I can figure out invest in a heat gun or something, but since that's working pretty good, I think I'm okay. Just probably takes a little longer than it would. Try to get some of this red off of here. Probably takes a little bit longer than it should, being it's not as condensed, but I think it's pretty good. Okay, I think that it'll work for now. And so I have the clear up there. It's interesting though, I don't know if you can pick it up, but it says it's opaque, but it almost looks like it is showing the color through, but it could be that it is picking up maybe that yellow of the inkjet, because it's from a printer versus an actual scrapbook paper since I printed it. But this isn't turning green or yellow, just that one. So I don't know if it's just my eyes or just how it looks. I mean, it looks cool, but yeah, it's kind of different. All right, so I was thinking about maybe adding a purple or a blue. No, I think a purple, because there's purple here. I think I'm going to do a purple here. All right, so I always want to start with a darker color from what I can tell. So we're going to do Villainous Poison here. And we're just going to put some of that water on there and see if I can roll some of that ink off. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Okay, now, all right, so I got most of the pink off. I think it should be good. And we're going to take a little bit of that, and there we go. Just want a little bit more purple. Want to hopefully get, like I said, it's going to be lighter purple because it's, you know, mixing with white, but I kind of want it to be a little bit darker purple. That's not too bad. All right, mixing it up, scrape as much as I can off, and all right, let's go with this right in here. And we're going to get a little bit on both. So when I go to cut it out, I got a little bit on this one and a little bit on that one. Yeah, so is this a be-all tutorial? No. Is this your permission? My permission? Giving you my permission? You should give yourself permission to play with the stuff you've got. And not be afraid, because that's basically, I've had that, geez, maybe a month or two, maybe even longer, and hadn't opened it till yesterday when I started playing with it. So, ooh, pretty. Very, very pretty. So, like I said, I end up cutting it down, so a little bit will get lost, but there will be a little bit on that side, a little bit on that side. Like same with there. And this is going to have a little bit of white and purple. This will just be that. I'll be able to add whatever I want to it. I'm going to put this in water. All right, so the question is, should I try to add a little bit of spritz sprays on these? I think I shall. I'm going to go and dry this one though before I add any spray to it. Yeah, this is very cool. I think such a pretty purple on there. And then that pink, like I said, I even don't mind the white, and that white on there is very cool. Yeah, very cool. All right, so do I dare spritz this a little bit? Grunge it up. I don't know if I want to now, after this dried. What I think I'm going to do, what I think I'm going to do is just, instead of spraying it, because I can get some big globules, I think I'm just going to do it in a little bit, just to get a little bit of color on there. All right, I think that is plenty enough. That was the gather twigs. Yeah, so we're gonna have to give that a minute to dry and soak in. I probably should have tried to pick an oxide that would spread a little bit more. Okay, I let it dry a bit. I did squish down the bigger chunks here and let it dry. And I think I want to add a little bit of green to it. So I do have the Mowed Lawn Distress Spritz. I think I'm going to add a little green to it, same way I did the other ones, just to add a little bit of, color to it. I wonder if this one will go. There we go. Okay. All right, so I'm going to let this one dry, and then we can cut these apart and see what they look like. Okay, I think it's pretty well dried, and it kind of looks like a mess, but I'm thinking kind of like master boards. When you go to cut them down and you get them focused in, I bet they're going to be very cool. So we're going to see. All right, so I'm going to just cut the edge off, and then I'm just going to cut the first one. And cut the white edges off the top and the bottom. And there is my first Stirpy Strip. I love it. I think it looks very cool. I like to probably just put a little bit of, inking on the edge. Maybe a flower focal point or something. Maybe even not. Very cool. All right, so let's see what the other ones look like. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm going to split this in half here so I can cut the two tops. And got some ideas on how to use your own texture paste. If you haven't already, you probably have. I'm sure I'm not teaching anybody anything new. But my hope is I cut that too much far off. My hope is that I give everyone an idea that it is okay to occasionally step out of your comfort zone and do something that you don't think you would probably do. All right, we're gonna just finish cutting these whites off. I'm cutting them off, and then I'm gonna show them up close. A little bit harder to cut through the texture paste, but not impossible by any means. Oops. Now, when I go to put these in journals, I might have to cut them down a little bit more depending on how tall the page is, because these were on regular copier paper, which is 8.5, but the borders come and go, and take a little bit off anyway, but you know, sometimes you have shorter pages. Okay, let's get that out of here, and let's get these pieces out of here. All right, there is that one. Very cool. It's got the purple just hanging up the bottom there. And this is the one that has both of them. Actually, it does go this way. The whitish up here, a little bit of purple down there. Very cool. And this one has just the pink. Some splodges. Very fun. And finally, this one, the pinks. I love it. They are so much fun. This is probably my favorite. Maybe that one is. I don't know. I kind of like that. I like them all, actually. Very fun. Okay. Well, so fun with texture paste. I did that off the camera. I did this one on camera. Definitely can add some more to it. And that one, just adding the fun prints on there. And the other ones I did off camera, pulling them in. Yeah, I love it. Okay, well, that is going to be it for me today. I'm so happy you came on by and saw my cute little haul with my stamps and my new stickers, or not stickers, my new tickets, which I can't wait to play with, and my new dollar, which is in the water, so I can't show you, my number stamp, my number stencil. Very fun. Okay, that's going to be it for me today. If you like the video, a thumbs up would be awesome. Thanks so much for stopping by, and as usual, I hope you all have a wonderful and creative day. Bye for now.